Operation agents terrified of ICE backlash after shooting. Leaked documents show Border Patrol needs volunteers for Minneapolis surge. Do not stop. There are way more of us than there are of these literal Nazi hogs. Look at him. He's in a fucking Nazi outfit. Are you kidding me? This guy should be one of the many faces on the Nuremberg 2, that's for sure. In the wake of officers' killing of Renee Good, the Department of Homeland Security is rolling out Operation Metro Surge, flooding Minneapolis with hundreds of additional federal agents, only to realize it doesn't actually have the confidence to match the bravado. While Homeland Security Kristi Noem and others in the administration preen about justifying last week's shooting and trumpet their war on domestic terrorism, which is apparently van moms. Van moms are the number one scary thing. We have to worry about that too. DHS is privately divided and hesitant about the latest deployments. According to documents leaked to me, which is Ken Klippenstein, not only is the department seeking volunteers for the apparent unpopular mission, it is urging its agents to maintain a low profile and comply with the use of force policies. Be mindful of OPSEC. Do not wear your uniform or any piece of your uniform when entering or exiting your hell. Your hotel, not hell. Although it is a hell they're making. Go plainclothes and then change elsewhere. Cool. Do not display any Border Patrol or law enforcement insignia on your belongings. Do not divulge meetings, staging, or operation locations. Do not divulge anything related to operations. Be mindful of what you post on social media. Turn off your location settings and set page to private. Always employ situational awareness. These guys don't have self-awareness. How could they employ situational awareness? These fucking hogs, dude. On Friday, DHS sought volunteers to deploy Minneapolis, in part due to opposition within the ranks, according to Border Patrol agents and other Homeland Security workers who have reached out to me. Please begin canvassing your personnel for volunteers, a memo sent by Border Patrol's acting assistant, Chief Joshua Andrew Post, on Friday. The memo outlines a request for 300 additional personnel, 200 Border Patrol agents, BPAs, and 100 processing coordinators, PPCs, to be funneled into Operation Metro Surge by Sunday, January 11th. Oh, it looks as though there were surges. Also, ICE hasn't had a single confrontation with armed targets, have they? There's been a couple situations where, well, they're not publicizing the events where they have had casualties, but it's not been zero. They just keep doing is not politicizing it because they don't want people to be like, look, they can die. And then also they don't want people to like mobilize around that and protect the people. So they're claiming that there's a pair of people they claim to be big problems, like, and they said they were like trans and stuff or sex workers. A Border Patrol agent familiar with the discussion said the volunteer push reflects real unease in the ranks about the Good shooting in Minneapolis and the related surge. We do have personnel, but some just don't want to go, the agent told me. Asked about the hunt for volunteers, DHS and Customs and Border Protection did not respond to my request for comment. No way. There might be some immature knuckleheads who think they are out there trying to capture Nicolas Maduro, but most field officers see a clear need for de-escalation. Okay. A high-level career official at Homeland Security headquarters in Washington told me they have to say this. You couldn't possibly say anything else if you're trying to get away with it. Not a chance. Denver is currently proposing banning all law enforcement from wearing masks. If the council proposal is passed, DPD can arrest the Gestapo for wearing masks. They should do so. I believe also, was it Boston PD? Am I wrong? There's a genuine fear that indeed ICE's heavy-handedness and the rhetoric from Washington is more creating a condition where the officers' lives are in danger rather than the other way around. Dare I say, good. Dare I say, good. It should never be the case that the government is comfortable or feels safe, any member of the government, they should never feel safe committing violence against anybody at all, let alone citizens. Insane stuff. Within hours of the shooting, Noem held a press conference declaring Renee Good had carried out an act of domestic terrorism when attempted. Here's my new policy. I think the death penalty should be reserved only for members of the government. No citizen, no private citizen can ever face the death penalty. The responsibility is supposed to be higher. It just is. It should be fucking the last thing. The greatest check the American people could have on the military, who is the violent wing, is the death penalty. Being a civil servant. The Republicans just kill people with that. Well, right now they're doing it to citizens instead of as well as government. I mean, it doesn't. I think it should be reserved for them. It should be something held over them. There's a video, and she just lied. The Border Patrol agent said of Noam's characterization of the incident. Even the Border Patrol agent. The senior DHS official adds that an increasing number of Homeland Security workers are concerned about the public backlash, as they ought to be. The claim is that the recruiting is up, but there is also dread that the gung-ho types that ICE and the Border Patrol are bringing in have a propensity towards confrontation and even violence. No way! I can't believe that. What? Are you telling me that a group of people that you've created through exclusive use of racist rhetoric would be weaponized without overview or without like supervision by the fascist that runs the country right now? I cannot fucking believe it. That they would be excited to wield power over people after they so impotently have spent their lives angry on the internet. Can you believe that they would do that? Today, Border Patrol Tactical Commander Greg Bavino, the Nazi at the top of this that was wearing the trench coat, circulated a legal refresher for agents in the field, including on the use of force, not a move that screams certainty about their conduct. And the department has sent memos to volunteer from Minneapolis warning about their operational security, covering everything from removing any signs of law enforcement affiliation when they are around their hotels to turning off locations. We looked at this. The guidance also reminds agents that things like profanity, insults, and rude gestures directed at them are not illegal, though incitement is. Incitement would have to be, so you cannot say, come on, do it then. You really shouldn't do that. Then they can be like, I was incited to do so, right? What you can say is, fuck you, cuck. You little bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Use of force is a seizure of a person. If an officer or agent applies force to a subject or the subject yields to the officer or agent show of force, as a seizure, the Fourth Amendment requires the use of force is reasonable, necessary to carry out LE duties, reasonable amount of force in light of totality of circumstances, imminent threat to safety, severity of the crime, activity resisting or evading. See, actively resisting or evading is so ridiculous. It should be legal to evade capture. I'm not joking. It's so normal. Like, what do you mean? You say, oh, the guy we're trying to capture of crime is trying not to be captured? Shut up. What a cucked position. Dude, I had a libertarian today being like, I respect people with a bat. Like, shut the fuck up. You are not a libertarian, brother. You are a cuck. You wish to be dominated by a man, a high school dropout, a deadbeat dad, a boomer, simply because he wears a badge. It's cuckery. You're weak. You do not have to be this way. You can be a man again. Did you know that you do not have to be a cuck to these people? Passive resistance alone is not a violation. Noncompliance or refusal to cooperate with officers' commands, disobeying commands without fighting back, taking photographs or videotaping an officer's operation. So this is not a violation. Protected activity. First Amendment protects freedom of religion, speech, press, right to assembly, and petition the government. Not protected. Incitement, fighting words. So don't say, come fight me then. Fuck you, I'm going to attack you. Do not say that. Incites imminent violence or lawlessness. Same shit, basically, except usually this involves acts, like throwing a brick or something. Threats of imminent violence against an officer, same shit. So you could do everything up to telling, like encouraging violence between two parties, which they also can't fucking do, but they do anyway. They love being stepped on. Now, obviously, this shit is so fucking loose, and they are really, I mean, they're considering noncompliance incitement, essentially, and speech or expression or nonverbal communication, for photos, peaceful protests, leaflets. Like fighting words is so loose, by the way, fighting words. So if I say, hey, your mom doesn't fucking love you, and that triggers you, and you consider that fighting words, are you fucking... Does it say that you can just do it? Super dumb. I would consider incitement the same thing. I don't know why they would loosen up the language except to allow their officers to continue to smash the rights of American citizens. And not just that, anyone. Human beings. It sounds like they're entering a war zone, says senior intelligence official who has been involved in discussions about calming the waters around ICE deployments. Telling a bunch of 20-somethings to prepare for war and terrorism creates the very condition officials are cautioning about. Right. But that's the play. So what the right wing does, and what these cucks do not understand, like if you consider yourself a libertarian, a MAGA guy, a Republican, a Christian nationalist, a Groyper, you just don't have any fucking handle of what the situation is. The reality is they are setting up a situation to put people in a pressure cooker like Israel, exactly like Israel. If you're a big time anti-Semitic guy, you should not be in favor of the tactics here. They are literally Israeli. The IDF does the same thing to Palestinians all the time, and you should be opposed to their genocide in the same way. This puts people in a pressure cooker and invites people to violate this thing, fighting words and incitement, out of necessity for their freedoms, right? Out of necessity to live their lives free of oppression, they will, of course, they will fight the fucking oppression. And so, in doing that, the Trump administration, through ICE, is trying to create a situation where they can say, oh, look, we are justified in force. We're going to do even worse shit now. We're going to martial law. We're going to restrict freedoms. You're going to see them try to cordon off entire cities like they're doing with Minneapolis, which is, of course, going to fail. But they're going to try, which will cause violence. You just don't have what it takes to do the thing you're pretending to do. The Border Patrol agent said that while a significant minority of his colleagues agree with him, they are not comfortable speaking out given the political climate. The agents also warned that the voluntary deployments, despite being symptomatic of splits within the agency, could further inflame the situation in Minneapolis. Of course they're going to. Key word is on a voluntary basis, said Border Patrol. If no experienced senior agent steps up, they send the new guy straight out of the academy. Not a good idea. This is the same thing they do in Israel. This is not a joke. They take inexperienced 18-year-old conscripts into the IDF and they set them on the front lines of very tense situations where they're just randomly fucking with Palestinians trying to get through a border check, trying to go to their job or their home and trying to get medication or meet an appointment, and they're being held up by fucking 19-year-olds who have been told an arbitrary schedule on when to let people through or when not to let them through, just to fuck with and rise tensions and frustrations in that community. It's literally in their playbook. This is the same fucking thing. You're going to start to see checkpoints in America. They already have set them up sort of on the highways, and they're saying, hey, you have to show me your fucking papers to American citizens. Show me your fucking papers. Prove you're an American citizen. Show me your ID. Insane. Absolutely disgusting. He continued, in a nutshell, it's us versus them on steroids, and I think some Border Patrol agents are more willing to use force and not feel restrained when you got DHS leadership lying to cover for them. For example, Kristi Noem lying her ass off on what happened is like saying to a federal agent on the ground, go ahead and do whatever you have to do. We got your back. We'll find a way to justify it, and that's literally what's happening. Obviously. Clearly. If you bark like a dog for ICE and the president, if he goes, go do this thing, and you go, oof, oof, yes, sir, and you wag your little tail and you walk over, you're a fucking submissive loser. I want you to know that. And if you think you're not, I would like to dog walk you on stream anytime. I'm live Monday through Friday nights, and I'd be happy to fucking talk because you need to be brought out of your cuckery one way or the other. The easy way is to admit it. The hard way is to live it through to its conclusion, which is pathetic.